Strength versus technique. What is the difference, and should it matter, or should you care? Well, I'd like to start a discussion and just share my thoughts on the difference, because there are differences, and this is kind of what goes through my head when I train. This is one of the biggest reasons why I don't follow a program, because I do like the freedom of being able to make progress with what makes sense based on my knowledge. And because I have lots of non-competitive training experience, like a lot of good anatomy, physiology, and experience training people, it turns into this puzzle that's just really fun, and I love it. And you get the benefit from some of my thoughts, and maybe you'll learn something from me, and you can form your own opinion of whether you agree with it or disagree. Okay, so let's talk about what I want to talk about, and that's there's training for technique and there's training for strength. In the world of powerlifting, there's a lot of overlap, but it's kind of difficult to separate the two, but I'll try my best to distinguish the two in this video. In a manner of speaking, technique is basically cheating. Now, cheating sort of in the sense that you're trying to essentially, not necessarily, I won't say stretch the rules, because that basically is cheating, but you're trying to get them, do everything you can to put yourself in a position to maximize the rules of the competition. Let's talk about a domain where there is no competition rules, or rules like that in powerlifting, and that is chopping a tree down. Now let's think about this for a second. If we were to chop a tree down with a butter knife, it would take a really long time. Now, if we used an axe, it would be faster. If we use a chainsaw, it would be faster than the axe. And if we use a bulldozer, we can knock down several trees in a matter of seconds. In a sense, you're cheating your way to chopping the tree down. In chopping the tree down, it's very much like doing a heavy deadlift, squat, or bench press. For the sake of discussion, we'll focus on the axe. The axe, the deadlift. There is a specific way in which you can use the axe that will provide the most efficient movement pattern to get the deepest cut and the strongest strike. For the deadlift, there is a specific pull position that allows you the most power and leverage. When you're trying to get the most out of something, it is best to understand how you will approach the act. Deadlift strength is really about really being able to use all your leverages to your best of ability, and that means working on that perfect single repetition, because that's what you do in competition. Now, technique is about trying to get the most out of your resources. Again, your specific leverages, strengths, and weaknesses in consideration are unique to you as they are unique to me. Understand that these facts allow you to keep the bar path vertical and short. This is optimum performance, and this is optimum leverage. Now, we take a look at strength. Strength is the raw ability to just move something. So a lot of the time, if you see a 130-pound person, as an example, move 600 pounds, they are using ridiculous amount of technique. Now, this is essentially one end of the spectrum. Now, you take a look at someone who's maybe 300 pounds, and they're moving the same 600 pounds. They're probably using a lot more strength than they are technique. Now, it's possible that the person that's 300 pounds moving the 600-pound deadlift is going to be able to use a better technique as well. But when someone's that big, it's typically they have much more leverage to their ability. They will be able to just use strength, meaning that they don't even have to focus on their technique as much because they are stronger. Now, there are a lot of things to consider, and keep in mind that this is a very rough analogy. The whole point of this is considering that when you're trying to build strength, you're really trying to build consistency and being able to move more weight, because a lot of the time, like something that around 90 or 95%, at any moment you can miss it, especially when you're really tired. And if you're really proficient, 90 to 95% for me on a deadlift is like 525 pounds. And that's not something I can just lift on a whim, right? Generally, I like to think that lifting on a whim, meaning that you don't need it to necessarily, I guess, prep yourself the same way. Because when you're trying to lift a true 100% or a true 95%, you really are having to extend yourself. And then you take a look at someone that's just lifting, or just lifting 70%, almost on any given day, in every given moment, you can pull 70% off the ground. It's my opinion that 70% should be something you can pull without a warm-up. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do that, but the idea is that when you are trying to build strength, You're trying to build repetition. You're trying to build consistency, meaning that if you are very strong, you build lots of strength, you can essentially move a weight with lots of error and lots of low technique and still get the weight up. Like I can lift 400 pounds very perfectly. And if I do so, I'm going to be able to do lots of reps. If I lift it imperfectly lots of times, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get tired faster. It's going to be inefficient, but I will build my ability to pull bad. So there's sort of a balance. Now, not sure if I really clarified those two because there is such a huge convergence, but I like to hear your thoughts and comments. Hope I gave you some different ideas on how to view things. And thanks for watching. Click like if you haven't already. Check my blog post. Basically, I wrote this out in a video format or in a blog post format in case you'd rather read it because the writing is a little bit different than the spoken word. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.